Hi there, thank you for joining me on FernCrafts. I'm Christine and I welcome you to my channel. Today I wanted to do an update that is long overdue, but on some of my orchids that have now switched over to waterculture. I'll go through them individually. So I have here, let's see how many, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 so far, and there, I'll show you. And let me just go through some of the things that I have, observed with this method of growing orchids. Now, I have to say, first off, that all of these are at some stage rescue orchids. They're all from my own collection, but they were not about to, they were on their way out, and I kind of use this method to bring them back or to at least keep them alive. So, and I can say right off the bat that it has been successful. So definitely something I do recommend. If you've never tried it, that I'll give you a few tips and let you know how it's been for me. So most of them I think are Phalaenopsis as well, but here is a Phalaenopsis. I don't even remember what the flower looks like because it's so it was so bad at that point, and all I have is the one leaf now. Now with this Phalaenopsis, I did encounter a lot of mealybug, and I have to say that it's not 100% mealybug free at this point, but the method I went for is not exactly waterculture but semi-waterculture, where I do fill up some water on the bottom, and I have these clay beads that I have discussed in the past when I was transferring, and I'll try to find the videos for all of these and refer them in the description box below if you want to watch those and see where it was and how it's come so far. The good news about this orchid, yes, it's not 100% mealybug free at this point, and I think that is basically because if there's mealybug on one orchid, it's going to travel to your other orchids, and it's very hard to control it. I have been using hydrogen peroxide, which is something that I like to use, as well as just jetting the orchid with a spray of water. Almost weekly I've been doing that, and it does help. Now going back to the good news about this orchid is that you can see there are lots of new growing tips. So for anybody who's new and does not know what I mean by that, it's these green tips, and they're bright green, and you can see it's in the middle of a root as well, right there. So that's another growing tip. And the older roots are looking pretty bad, but they are still viable because they turn green when they are wet, like you can see here. So I've just left it on for now, and when I see that they get very dead, like this part of it here, I will just cut it back. But I haven't done this as yet because I don't know how far back to cut it, and I don't want to cut into the healthy part of the root, because then it'll start to rot when it's wet. So I'd rather it just be dry and do its own thing for a while until I have some good roots where I can cut off that root. So that's the update with this. These are 2 mini phals that I had, and I had 3, I lost 1, and now I have 2. So you can see the root structure is not good at all, but there are some good roots on there. But this root here has taken its own life and it's coming upwards, and so it's an air root rather than one that is looking for water. And these 2 orchids I've had in waterculture, so I let it sit like this in water, and I only put in this is less than an inch of water in each of these cups, and it will go down. So today is a Saturday, it'll be dried up before a Thursday, and then for Thursday, Friday, it's just sitting with no water. So on Saturdays, then again, I give it a good rinse and fill it up with some water. Again, these are were very damaged with mealybugs, but I have to say this one is mealybug free, and I've just been very, very careful with it and trying to keep it separate from the others, so which I'm going to do right now as well after the video. But this one here, it still has a little bit of infection on it, so I've been cleaning it and, you know, treating it the same way I've done with the others. Nothing to show here, actually. I'm not sure, it's a little hard to focus, but maybe. But you can see, like, so this is a new leaf, but there is some yellow discoloration in there, and I'm thinking that's probably because it was getting too much sun, or maybe it's lacking some light, some kind of minerals. So I am going to try to dose the water with just a little bit of fertilizer and see if that'll help. This one is fine, but again, it's got that little tinge of yellow on the leaf, so they might be, you know, just plain water might not be enough for them. I am using what is it called, filtered water? I don't know, the bottled water, the ones you get in those big huge bottles for the water coolers. So that, I forget what it's called, but yeah, you know what it is. This is not anything in waterculture, but I do have it on the windowsill, and I just wanted to do an update on it. It was 2 pieces of a catasetum, one of my catasetums that rotted, and so what I did is I just took those and put it aside. Nothing to show yet. Actually, I did see something, but I don't want to get too excited. Oh, okay, I will show it because it's right there. You see that? Oh, take it off. Please focus. No, it doesn't want to focus. But do you guys see it? There. You can see that little tiny tip. So it is growing. So I'm going to place it back again the way it was and not damage it. There. And the other one I don't know. So just to give you an update, this is the catasetum lavena. And yeah, so if you have a catasetum and it's rotting, don't throw it out. Do what I did. I just put a little bit of cinnamon on the bottom so it doesn't, the rot doesn't travel any further. It kind of cinches it up, and then it will, it's just sitting in a bed of rock pebbles. Okay, that's all it is. And by the sunny window, it will do its thing, because they are little powerhouses that they store all the energy in there, waiting to, you know, reawaken. Okay, so this here is my oncidium. Let me fish it out because it's pretty tall. There. I'll grab the label. Actually, I'm not going to grab it. I'll just read it out. It is the Brassia Rex crossed with the Eternal Wind, and it's called Orchis. Okay, so you just have to trust me. Labels in there. This was, again, a rescue. It had rotted down all of its bulbs except the one, this long one here. Long one here. And it had a tiny growth that looked like even smaller than that, I think, which is now this big growth right here. So it's done really well, and then now it has a new growth on the other side, which is very good. I haven't done much with the roots. All I've done, again, is the same thing where I have a little bit of water. This one is about 1 inch. It has a little bit more water in here, of course. Oops. And, you know, I was thinking I should bring it up a little bit like this. Well, you can't see that. Okay, there. Because these leaves were starting to get curved because they're in there. So maybe I'll let it sit like this now and have the one root trail into the water. And if the other roots want the water, then they'll just have to grow, which they will. All right, moving on. I don't want to take too long with this video. Okay, this is just another Phalaenopsis, and I actually have a label here. I called it the Valentine. It was a gift from 2015 Valentine, I would think, where again it was damaged. I'm pretty sure it has lovely flowers. I don't remember the color. But again, same deal, but this is different where I don't have water sitting in there. I just put a little bit there on a Saturday, and this water is going to be all sucked up maybe even by tomorrow. And then it's just sitting there. And you know what? This is a damaged leaf that's been there for a while, but this leaf here, there's a new leaf, and I want to say this leaf, yes, is a new leaf. So I've had 3 new leaves. It just started off with 2 and a little one. This was small at the time. So now I have 2 other new leaves, which is really good. So yeah, I have to say this method has been fantastic. But here is my I'm not sure what to call it, because I think it's really doing well, but you guys may not agree because of what you see. These two, this was an Oncidium. Let me introduce what it is. It is the Ondontoglossum Alliance, and it's called Super Spot Everglades. I'm very good at pronouncing these things, but there it is. I'll put it up on the screen as well. And there were a lot of rotting bulbs. I cut away most of them, but I left this one, which had just, a little bit of softness to it, but I left it anyways, and now it is very, very soft. It needs to be cut away. This one needs to be cut away too. It's very, very soft. But this one is just hanging on there. And if you remember, I did put a lot of cinnamon on the base. And there's this leaf here. Now, you can see it doesn't look like much, but it's also not died out yet, which gives me some hope. And the way I have this is I have it in a mix. We repot this orchid together. I'll put the video down below. And I have it in a very fine bark mix with perlite and charcoal in it. And then so I've never watered this, okay? Because of the rot, I didn't want to water it. So it's never got watered. But I've never let it dry out in the sense that I've always had some moisture on the bottom. So it has a little bit of water and these clay beads that absorb the moisture. So I let it sit on there, and it's by a very sunny window because Ondontoglossums, they don't get it. They like a little bit of sun, but not too much, and that's how much it gets. So it's doing very well. I think it's doing very well. With these rotting pseudobulbs, I will remove them but I have to do it in a way where I'm not disturbing the rest of the orchid. And I need a sharp tool for it. My X-Acto knife has seemed to disappear. So I either need to get another one or hunt it down. So that's what it's waiting for, and it can hang on for a few days. So that's my little windowsill collection of water culture orchids, and I wanted to share that with you. But like most of my videos, I do like to share a method with you so that you'll be able to use it with your own orchids. So I have here an empty container, and these are really handy because you can see through them. You put in, and they look pretty too, so you put in a little bit of water. If you don't have something like this, this I got from the dollar store, by the way, and I love them. I don't know how many I have. I have a few of those. But if you don't have anything, you could also get from the dollar store. These are just plastic cups, and they're drinking cups. They're probably they're drinking cups. A pack of 5, I think, for $1. right? So I have those. But if you don't have that, you could use glass bottles that you get. You know, this is a coffee bottle, so I reuse some of the things for my own spices and all that. Or even from your trash, like from your blue bin, recycling bin. You would, this is an apple juice container that I've just cut off the top, and I actually like the shape. It's very nice, and I know a few of you have asked me where I got these containers, but they're just apple juice containers. Okay, so that's that. And I have here an orchid. Now let me just push these things back so I can do this without getting that into a mess there. And it's not doing well. Okay, so it did have a bloom and it looked very lovely, but I have not done anything to this orchid. Okay, I wanted to show you guys exactly the way it was. And as you can see, if I can put my hand behind there, right? So, and I'm trying to save it, but it's got this mealy bug, you know, a few of them walking around and messing things up for me. So I need to get it out of the pot and into water culture. At this point, I have no idea what the roots look like, but very simply, it has medium and all that nonsense in there. This label's gotta go. And you can see it's just rotted down. I used a popsicle stick. And yeah, so basically remove it out of your container. And this medium is old. It's really, really old. And some of these roots are very, very... Okay. I'm going to get rid of this stick, the stake. Just lost coconut core. Yeah. And then just get the orchid. Okay, and then just show you what it is, or you know what we're dealing with here. Okay, so yeah, you can see that there's some mealybug even on the medium, and that's what I don't like with when I see medium. Mealybugs in the medium. I want to get it out of that medium as soon as possible. Okay, so there you go, folks. I have taken away all the medium, given it a good wash, and cleaned out all the tips where I could see mealybugs or any sort of white thing. I don't know if it's always the mealybug, but whatever it is, it's not part of the plant and it needs to come off. And you can also see that I have cut away most of the dead root and cleaned that up as best as I could. And there is this yellowing root right here, but I'm not going to bother with it as yet. Now, just one thing I did want to point out is that this was the main plant at one point, but it died back, and there was basil keiki that started, from which the new spike emerged. So that is something. It's from the base, and sometimes you will have a spike coming off of the crown to a side, and that's a terminal spike, I believe. But this one is a basal spike. It's from the base. And the other thing is that it does have this new shoot, so I want to leave on the leaves as much as I could. So I've given those a good wash as well. There's something on here that I can't get rid of, but you can see the leaves are not in very good condition, but I'm not that's not putting me off from trying to save this orchid. So it's unfortunate it had to get to this point, but here we are, so at least we'll do something to save it. So there you go, folks. Just few tidbits from me, review on how my water culture is going so far, and I will do an update as they progress as well. As you can see, again, my mini phals, they are doing well, and they sit in almost full water culture. Then there's this other method where I have a little bit of water with some hydrogen beads or clay beads on the bottom, and really no direct water to the orchid, and it's doing well. It's putting out the new roots. Then there's this method here where I don't have any water in the pot, but I just let it sit on on pebbles that have water in them. So yeah, try out something, and if you have any questions, let me know. I'll try and answer them the best I can. Thanks again for watching, and I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you haven't done so already, do subscribe. You'll be the first to know when I upload a video. And just a tiny note on that is that I noticed that I am creeping up to almost 800 subscribers, and I'm hoping to do a giveaway at 1,000 subscribers. So something for all of you, international as well as Canadians. There will be some prizes at 1,000 subscribers. So yeah, something to look forward to. I do enjoy making these videos, but as you guys know, you know, sometimes life gets in the way and it gets a little complicated. But I thank you for sticking around, and I thank you for the comments, the likes that I get, and you know, really the interaction. I enjoy that. So thanks again for watching, and until next time, enjoy your orchids. Bye bye.